Hello everyone, this video that I'm making here is a topic that I've been meaning to get to for quite some time, and I tweaked it a little bit for in the final version from what I was going to do originally. But the reason why I finally got motivated to go ahead and make something like this is because recently I've been reading this book by Kit O'Toole, and it's Songs We Were Singing, Guided Tours Through the Beatles' Lesser Known Tracks. Kit makes a lot of good cases for a lot of the lesser known songs. We always talk about Hey Jude, we know about Yesterday and Something and Strawberry Fields Forever and all that stuff. But it's always nice to go ahead and give some equal time to some songs a lot of people don't think about, less popular, less known. So if you want to get this book, I'm sure Kit can help you out. She sometimes makes appearances here in the comment section, and if she's here, be free to ask her questions, and she'll help you out to how to get it. So I recommend it too. It's a lot of fun, and I keep on thumbing through it. And we agree on a lot, Kit and I, and that makes it extra easy to drink in. Okay, so based on this, I really said, well, let me make my video that I've been meaning to make, and this is not a video just talking about only the Beatles' more unpopular, little-known songs, because I guess if I was going to make a video like that, I'm easily going to have 2 or 3 dozen songs like that. What this is I thought I would comb through all the Beatles songs and find how many I could get to that I personally feel are really better songs than people say, and there's songs in particular that people are always looking to knock. For some reason, these are songs that people don't like as much. Maybe they like them, but not as much. But they're usually the ones that get crucified a lot, for lack of a better word. And I found 6 tracks, which isn't many. It shows you how strong the Beatles catalog is. Before I start listing those 6, I want to throw out a couple of titles here of songs that I did not include on my list, and I'll tell you why. Songs like Mr. Moonlight I'm not including. The reason I'm not including it, I really like the song, but the reason I'm not including it, it's so obvious. People are always picking Mr. Moonlight, and in the end, it's not really a Beatles song that they wrote. I'm basically sticking with Beatles original compositions here. So Moonlight is out as a cover song, and I think John sings it really well, by the way. I'll defend these songs a little bit too as I talk about them. Another one I'm not really counting on my list is an obvious contender, You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. It's an easy target because it's a B-side. It's kind of a joking novelty record, which I love. I just adore that song. I have a blast with it. I'm glad the Beatles did it. But I can kind of understand why Mr. Moonlight, and I can understand a little bit why You Know My Name get listed as the lesser Beatles songs, or worse Beatles songs, if you will. Another one is The Inner Light, which I really like. I'm a fan of George Harrison's Indian song there, B-side of Lady Madonna. I love the melody of it. I love the way George sings it, excuse me. And a lot of people pick on it, they don't like it. That could easily have been on this list, but I left it off. I'll also throw in a good word for Rocky Raccoon. A lot of people put Rocky Raccoon down. I think it's an interesting honky-tonk / countryish kind of song. I really like that the Beatles' White Album is filled with so many different various styles, and having that on there is a feather in the cap as far as I'm concerned. But those songs are the ones that I'm not including on here, only because, as I say, I think I can kind of understand in a way why people sometimes go after those. The ones I'm listing here, the 6 songs, are the ones which I don't really fathom why in the world they're on here. So, for number 6, I am going to start with, I guess I'll go with Maxwell's Silver Hammer. Now, let me say at first that it's easy to knock the song. I mean, I get the whole la-di-da, silly nature of the song, and the fact that the Beatles themselves, the other Beatles, I should say, John, George, and Ringo, kind of resented Paul making them go over this and do the song, rehearse it, and do it over and over and over and over and over and over in the studio. I get all that. But I think what people don't look at is something that I think should be obvious when you're considering the song. The idea is that you have here a serial killer, a young serial killer, which is not a light topic. Somebody goes around with a hammer and is bludgeoning people to death. That's pretty damn creepy and pretty intense. But the thing about it is, what to me is what's brilliant about the song is that Paul does it in kind of a here we go round the mulberry bush, London Bridge is falling down kind of children's, almost like a nursery type of song. And when you contrast the nature of it, really think about what this is about. The fact that it's done in such a happy-go-lucky, bouncy tune way is what kind of really gives it its power, I think. So that's number 6 on my list. It's number 6, it's not number 1 or 2, because I kind of can understand in a way why people are kind of down on it at times, just because of the, silly nature of it. Number 5 is a song that I'm surprised is on this list, and it's P.S. I Love You. Now, I'm not going to say a lot of people are down on P.S. I Love You, but lately it seems to be kind of a new thing that's in vogue. In Beatles, sometimes when you're discussing them in the circle, there's sometimes things that rise above, things that go below, and there's always a climate that goes on from time to time. Right now, for example, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band is not generally considered the Beatles' best achievement. Now Revolver has taken over. That seems to be what's going on now in Beatle gossip. Likewise, I've seen that P.S. I Love You gets slammed a lot. I've noticed this in a few podcasts that I listen to, and I keep shaking my head and saying, I personally love P.S. I Love You. I have so much fun with it. I think it's a better song than Love Me Do. It was relegated to the B-side of Love Me Do, and we don't know what would have happened in history had George Martin decided to put P.S. I Love You as the A-side. Love Me Do got up to number 17 for their first single release. I wonder if P.S. I Love You would have done better. I just love the pace at which it goes, and I love, the maracas and things in the background. Love the way John and Paul is singing it, and I especially love kind of the repetitions that they do. Treasure, these few words, and they say together. I love the way they kind of do that in unison. And of course, the end is near the end is always fun when they repeat the main line, as I write this letter, and John's going, oh, and then Paul says, I want you to. I love that. I think it's really an underrated song, and it's on this list because I can't fathom for the life of me why it's starting to get a bad reputation. That's a new thing in Beatledom. Okay, now we're going to go for what I'll put down as, what did I got, 6, 5. Number 4, I'm going to put down, no surprise to people, Run For Your Life. Now, Run For Your Life, we're in a PC climate now. You can't sing songs where you're saying you want to go out and hunt somebody down and kill them if they're unfaithful to you. Of course, we know that the main line in the song that starts it out, I'd rather see a dead little girl than to be with another man, actually comes from an Elvis Presley song from the 50s called Baby Let's Play House. So this was nothing new. That line John borrowed for the song to start it off with. John Lennon never really liked the song, and he really wasn't crazy about it either. I don't know if he was just really unhappy with it, or maybe kind of like trying to kowtow also to the fact that it's not a popular topic. But the main thing is, I think it's a really good song. I think it's got a really good energy to it. John sings it really well. And what I really want to drive across with it is that it's just a character in a song. I mean, John Lennon's not going around hunting anybody down and killing them. So it's just a song, people. That whole thing. It's just a song. Next up on the list is a song that always puzzles me as to why people don't like it, but that song is Tell Me Why from A Hard Day's Night. Tell Me Why always gets tossed to the lower levels. What can I say about it? Again, I love the energy in it. I love the vocals in it. Love the way they all sing together. And Tell Me Why has always been a personal favorite ever since I was a little kid. It still is. It's something that really, really puzzles me that it's on the list at all. Number 2, I went with the song from With the Beatles' second album, and it's Hold Me Tight. Hold Me Tight is a song that really rocks, And I love the way Paul sings it. Now, I guess technically, yeah, you can see he's off key here and there. A lot of people like to pick on the fact that Paul's voice is a little off. I think that's what makes it sometimes. Sometimes I like the fact that the harmonies might not gel 100%, or there's a little off-kilter quality to them. Hold Me Tight is a really rollicking, chug-along uh, powerhouse that I really have a great time with. I know the Beatles tried to record it earlier, I think for their first album, and it didn't come through to the second album. But it definitely belongs on my list of most underrated and picked on Beatles songs. I had to come down with a song for number one, and for number one, that song is another track from the Hard Day's Night album that did not make it into the film. It's When I Get Home. Da-da-da, my choice for the number one most criminally underrated Beatles song. I really can't fathom this whenever we're talking Beatles. People always mention When I Get Home. A lot of people don't like the whoa, whoa, ah opening. I love that. I think it's a really cool opening. They're always doing things like harmonies and oohs and things like that. I think it's really cool. But what really gets mentioned a lot when people put When I Get Home down is one silly little line, just one line, when John says, I'm going to love her till the cows come home. I don't think that one line, if you don't like it, is enough to ruin an entire song. Is that really enough to just destroy the whole song for you? And that particular statement, till the cows come home, this goes back a long way. I mean, John Lennon didn't really come up with that. That's not something John just took out of his pocket. That was a expression been around for a long time, and I heard that song "Till the Cows Come Home" long before I'd heard the song "When I Get Home." But what I love about it, again, John has got such a powerful, strong, intense vocal. You really feel like you do with a lot of early John songs that he believes every word of it, he means every word of it. And you got the wonderful drumming in there. I love the way the cymbal crashes are. Whoa, whoa. Every time they do one of those whoa, 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 ahs, it's so good. And the guitar too. I love that kind of like, I'm not a guitar player, folks, so bear with me here. Dun, 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 dun. When I get home and they're doing dun, 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 come on. I feel like singing the whole damn song. I'll spare you any more singing. But that's it. That's my list. When I Get Home, especially, criminally underrated. What are your choices and thoughts? Let me know.